Picture this. Your teenager is halfway out the door, headphones already in. You say one sentence, just one, and you watch their whole body change. The shoulders go up, the eyes go flat, the wall slams down. You didn't yell. You didn't punish. You said something you've said 100 times, something that felt completely normal to you. But to them, it landed like a slap. Here's the strange part. The phrases that quietly damage trust are usually the ones parents repeat every single day, without ever realizing what they actually mean on the other side. In this video, I'll walk you through 8 things teenagers secretly hate hearing. Phrases so common that most parents say at least one of them before breakfast. Now, none of these make you a bad parent. You probably heard most of them growing up yourself. But here's what psychology keeps showing. It's rarely the big arguments that shape a relationship. It's the small, repeated sentences, the ones that seem harmless. So stay with me, because by number 8, you'll never hear your own voice in quite the same way again. Number 1. Because I said so. Your teen asks why. Maybe they're pushing back. Maybe they're just curious. And out it comes, the conversation ender. 4 words that slam a door with no handle on their side. Here's what it actually teaches them. Your reasoning doesn't matter here. Power is the only argument. And a teenager who can't question you out loud doesn't stop questioning. They just stop doing it where you can hear it. Here's the truth. You don't lose authority by explaining yourself. You lose it by proving you can't. You don't owe them a debate, just a reason. Because it's late and you've got school takes 3 seconds, and it tells them their mind is worth talking to. Number 2. When I was your age, you mean well? You're trying to relate, to hand over some hard-won wisdom. But think about giving someone a map of a city that's been completely rebuilt. The streets you remember are gone. Their world has social media that never logs off. Group chats that can turn overnight. Pressures you genuinely never faced at 15. So when you measure it against your own teenage years, the message they hear is, your reality isn't quite real to me. Here's the shift. You don't have to have lived their exact world to understand it. You just have to be curious about it. Swap the lecture for a question. What's that actually like for you? Beats any story that starts with back in my day. Number 3. Calm down. Or its cousins. You're overreacting. It's not a big deal. Here's the problem. Nobody in the history of being upset has ever calmed down because they were ordered to. It's like telling a fire alarm to be quiet instead of checking for the fire. When you wave the feeling away, they don't feel calmer. They feel alone with it, and the lesson quietly sinks in. Big feelings aren't safe to show here. Here's the truth. A feeling that gets acknowledged usually shrinks. A feeling that gets dismissed just goes underground. So name it instead. Okay, this really matters to you. I'm listening. That one sentence does what calm down never could. Number 4. Why can't you be more like your brother, your sister, that kid next door? It usually slips out in frustration. But comparison is a strange kind of poison, quiet and slow to leave. Because here's what they actually hear. Not do better, but you are less. You can lose a game, a grade, an argument, and bounce back. It's much harder to recover from being told you're the wrong version of a person. Here's the shift. The goal was never to make 2 kids identical. It's to help one kid become fully themselves. So drop the comparison and speak to who they are, not who they aren't. Here's what I see in you is the sentence that actually moves someone forward. Quick pause before we keep going, because the first 4 are the ones most parents can at least feel slipping out. The next 4 are sneakier. They sound caring, they sound reasonable, and that's exactly why they do the most quiet damage. So watch closely. Number 5. You'll understand when you're older. It feels gentle, even wise, but from where they're standing, you've just handed them a sealed envelope and told them they're not allowed to open it yet. It says their current thoughts don't really count, that they're a smaller, unfinished version of a real person whose opinions will matter someday. And someday is a miserable place to feel respected. Here's the truth. They don't need to be older to be taken seriously. They need to be taken seriously now. so they grow into someone who trusts you with the hard stuff later. Try. Here's how I see it. What do you think? You can disagree and still treat them like a mind that's already here. Number 6. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. Sometimes you do need the final word. That's real. But this phrase doesn't just set a boundary. It announces that the conversation was never a conversation at all. Imagine a boss who asks for your input, then makes it clear it was never wanted. You'd stop offering it. Teenagers do exactly the same. They go quiet, not because they agree, but because talking turned out to be pointless. Here's the shift. You can hold the line and still let them feel heard on the way there. I hear you. And the answer's still no, keeps your authority and their dignity. You lose neither. Number 7. What is wrong with you? It usually escapes in a hot moment, half rhetorical. But a teenager's brain doesn't hear it as rhetorical. It hears a diagnosis. There's a huge difference between you did something wrong and something is wrong with you. One is about a choice they can change. The other is about a self they can't. Aim at the behavior and you correct an action. Aim at the person and you hand them a label they may carry for years. Here's the truth. The kid is never the problem. The behavior is the problem. So separate the two out loud. That choice isn't like you. Let's talk about what happened. Same limit, completely different wound. Number 8. We'll talk about it later. And then, later never comes. Maybe you got busy. Maybe the moment passed. It felt harmless. You didn't say no, you just said not now. But a teenager works up real courage to bring something to you. And when later quietly turns into never, they don't learn my parent was busy. They learn the window for talking to you closes fast, so why bother opening it? Here's the shift. Every door you leave ajar and don't walk back through teaches them to stop knocking. If now truly isn't the time, then make later real. I want to hear all of this. Tonight, after dinner, just us. Then, show up. The follow-through is the whole message. So here's what ties all 8 together. None of them come from a bad parent. They come from a tired one, a worried one, a human one. But your teenager isn't keeping score of your worst sentences. They're quietly learning, one repeated phrase at a time, whether their voice is safe in this house. And long after they've forgotten what you said, they'll remember exactly how it felt to be heard by you. Or not.